I have a new art journal tutorial video for you today. And this one's a little bit different because I have the page nearly finished, as you can see there, but I actually lost the video. I was using a new camera and it didn't save the video properly. So I'm going to recreate the page in my test journal here to show you how I got to what I have there. So the first thing I'm going to be using is some white gesso, and I'm just going to be laying down a thin layer of the white gesso all over my page. And I decided, a lot of my past videos I've been doing 2-page layouts, but I wanted to do some 1-page layouts, and I wanted to do some simpler layouts. If there's anyone who doesn't have a whole bunch of stamps or doesn't have a whole lot of supplies, I wanted them to be able to see that you can create some really beautiful layouts without all those different supplies and stamps. I'm going in now with some StazOn ink in jet black, and I'm using my dauber, and I'm just going all around the page. I'm creating little circles of black. As you can see, I'm not fully blending it into the page, and I'm using different basically gradients of the black. Some areas are darker than others. And then I'm going to go in with some distress paint. This is the color Salty Ocean. And then this is Broken China. And then finally I'll be using Antique Linen. And this Tim Holtz distress paint works perfectly on top of gesso. It is a really cool technique, which I use on a lot of my pages. You just dab it on and then go over it with a baby wipe to blend it in. And on top of that black StazOn ink, it almost gives the effect of some dark clouds or kind of a space effect. And on the actual layout, I did multiple layers of this paint for the sake of time and recreating the video. I'm not doing as many layers as I did on the original page, but I just wanted to give you an idea of how I created this. From there, I let the distress paint dry, and then I went in with a dry baby wipe, and I just dabbed it onto my StazOn ink, and then I went over and touched up some of the black to make some areas darker, and that's how I created that background color. And now I'm going to go in with a fan brush, and I'm going to be using some white India ink. And all I'm going to do is put some white India ink on this fan brush, and then I'm going to almost just flick it over the page. I've created some areas that have bigger splatters and some that are smaller, and I got this by getting closer or farther away from the page to make the splatters a little bit more interesting. Now I'm going to be going in with the Stampabilities stamp to create the saying, "The darkest nights produce the brightest stars." And then once I have that stamped, I'm going to be going in with a white Jelly Roll pen, and I'm going to be highlighting the letters. And then from there, I'm going to create a stencil. I didn't actually have a star stencil, so all I did was I took a piece of cardstock and I drew a star on the cardstock, and then I'm just going to cut a square around the star, and you want to make it large enough that when you use your dauber or your paintbrush or whatever you choose to use, that it won't, the paint won't go off the side of the stencil. And you can see on this example one that I'm cutting, I didn't nearly cut the edges far enough away, but it's just for example. So now I'm just going in and I'm cutting around my lines and I'm creating my star. And this is a great way to create stencils if you don't have a shape that you need. Here I'm just taking the pad off of the dauber, and this is one of the extra pads that came with it. And I'm not going to use the dauber because I want to really get into the points of the star. This is Inca Gold ink. It's in the color gold, I just discovered this. I got it as a Christmas gift actually, and I love this stuff. So all I'm going to do is go in and get some on the sponge, and then I'm just going to dab it all over the stencil. It actually creates some dimension because it sticks up off the page just slightly, which is neat. If you've never used this stuff before, it's really awesome. I recommend picking up a few colors and playing around with it and seeing if you like it. You can actually take it out of the pan and you can water it down, use it with a paintbrush. It's about the consistency of butter. And then from here, all I'm doing is just creating some stars all over the page and giving it a little bit more interest. Again, this is a simpler layout, but I wanted to show just some different techniques that can be used with art journaling, and I wanted to play around with my new Inka Gold sets. So I like that it's just a one-page layout. It's a simple thing and it's a simple design, but I had a lot of fun doing this. So as you can see, that's the finished page. Thank you guys so much for watching, and join me next time as we do the next layout on the other side of the page.